Welcome back to Meditating with me, Vidyamala. Today we're going to continue our exploration of insight practice, or learning to live more in harmony with the natural way of things. And this is learning to live in harmony with the fact that everything is continually changing. Our thoughts are continually changing, our emotions are continually changing, our physical sensations are completely changing. The world is completely changing. Even mountains that look so solid eventually dissolve away to dust. And from a mindfulness perspective, it's said that the cause of most of our suffering is that we don't live aligned with this truth. We cling on to things in a desperate hope that they will last forever. And we tend to solidify difficult or painful things in our mind and then react to it as if it's a solid object. And this also causes us a great deal of suffering. And with mindfulness, we can learn to let go of these forms of reactive suffering, to rest down into the body, into the moment, and allow everything to flow. Everything to flow through our awareness, without aversion and without clinging. So today we're going to look at this as we move. So we're going to do a few very gentle movements and to see if we can get inside this more fluid, open, flowing perspective as we move. And then we can take this felt experience, this quality of awareness with us into the movements of daily life. And what you'll find if you do this is that you're less jerky, less tense. Movement becomes a little easier, more open, more fluid, smoother, and it's a much nicer, more pleasant way to live. So obviously I'm not aware of your physical capacities as you're out there in the world listening to this meditation. I'm aware that some of you will have a wide range of movement, and some of you may have very little movement due to illness, disability, or whatever. So I'm going to ask you just to move in a way that feels appropriate for you. If you can move your arms, then you may want to raise the arms on the in-breath and allow them to lower down again on the out-breath. If this is painful or difficult, you might want to move your legs a little bit. Or you may just want to move a finger a little bit, or a toe a little bit. So it's completely up to you. And if you can't move at all, then you can visualize the movement. And there's lots of research showing that visualized movement has an effect. So beginning to move your body in the way that you've chosen. I'll lead it as if you're raising and lowering the arms, and adapt this if you're doing a different movement. So on the in-breath, let's allow the arms to float up. And on the out-breath, let's allow the arms to float down again. And keep doing these movements in this rhythm. On the in-breath, floating up. On the out-breath, floating down, in your own rhythm, of course. No need to alter the breath. But it's a little bit as if the movement of the arms is an expression of the movement of the breath. Floating up, floating down. And now let's see if we can allow this movement to be as fluid as possible. So obviously the movement is hopefully quite fluid. But you might still experience your arms as solid objects. But let's see if we can allow the arms to be dynamic, alive, changing. And you might experience this as energy. So having a sense of the energetic presence of your arms as you move, or whatever other part of your body you're moving. So there's this sense of aliveness, process, flow, change in your body as you move. So there's the actual movement, and then there's the energetic movement. And if your arms or whatever part you're moving gets tired, then just resting for a few moments. And you might want to start moving another part of your body. Be really curious. What's it like to rest deeply inside the body as you move? And to experience the body as dynamic, alive, a sense of flowing energy in the body as you move. And again, if you get tired, moving another part of the body. Maybe even having a sense of a very subtle dance. A dance of the physical movements, a dance of the energy, a dance of the flow. So rather than the body being this thing that's moving, that can sometimes feel awkward, heavy, uncomfortable, this object that maybe you don't like. The body has become fluid, open, dynamic, a sense of energy, maybe tingling. So there's this movement that's already in the body quite naturally, just with life, the life force in the body. And then we're taking that into slightly bigger movements, a sense of expanding on the in-breath, maybe rising on the in-breath, and then falling on the out-breath. Every time you feel that this part of the body wants to stop moving, then finding another part of the body that wants to move, even if it's tiny movement. Could be the opening and closing of the eyes even. Maybe your lips smiling on the in-breath, subsiding on the out-breath. Doesn't need to be a big movement. But of course, if you're quite fit and mobile, you might want to do big movements. You might want to be dancing around the room as you listen to this meditation. There's nobody watching, making it your own. I find this very beautiful. It's like we're getting inside the fact that the body is always moving, with breathing, with life, every cell dynamic, alive, energy flowing in the body all the time. And then this expresses itself in larger movements as we move. Now allowing the body to settle back into stillness. So the bigger movements, we're not making any physical movements, but we're resting in the body, settled, and just feeling energy in the body. Sense of dynamism and flow in the whole body, no matter how subtle. Continuing for your chosen period. Moving if you want to, being still if you want to, it's completely up to you. And when it comes time to end, perhaps forming an intention to see if we can bring this quality of awareness into the movements of daily life, the opening and the closing of the door, the rising and falling of the cutlery as we lift it to the mouth, the getting in and out of bed, the standing in the shower. So I hope you have an interesting day in this moving body, and I really look forward to meditating with you tomorrow.